Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Baleba!
Manchester United and Leipzig have already been talking about sesko. That deal will be completed pretty soon because sesko chose Manchester United over Newcastle, even though that Manchester United had a bit lesser than what Newcastle gave to Leipzig. But let's see what happens with that deal. But the interesting part of this whole thing is that Manchester United is going to move to Baleba. Baleba plays for Brighton. He's one of the best midfielders in last season's. This last season that finished, he's a good player. But the question is that Brighton don't want to sell, number one, and if they are going to sell, it's going to cost about 100 million euros. I don't know, but Manchester United have made advances on him already. So I'm keep asking, did they discover oil at Old Trafford and we didn't know? Because everybody know that Manchester United know to get money like that. Suddenly they are signing a player, two players already for 140 million, more than 140 million euros. They are going to sign another player, another striker, sesko, for 90 million euros. Now they're talking about Baleba, almost something that happened at Old Trafford we don't know. But if you look at that deal to bring in Baleba, first, do you think that is the midfield that they need? If you look at the crop of midfield that Manchester United have now, the Ugarte, the Casemiro, the Mbuemo, the Fernandez, do you think that Baleba is the type of midfielder they need in that team?
Unquestionably, I think that Baleba is a needed addition to that midfield. Like, let's not forget that last season, Manchester United had a shambolic midfield. They couldn't transition the ball forward. They couldn't deliver the striker with supply. And they didn't have strikers that have sense. Strikers that can score goal. Now, let me shock you now. The two strikers they have there in the Premier League could not score up to 10 goals in the season. The two of them, Zeski and Højlund. So let's not even get into that. Hopefully and thankfully this season they've brought in 2 10s into the side, talking about Cunha and Mbuemo. They are looking to wrap up sesko for the 10 position, but you still have to come back to that midfield. Now, why I'm going to say this is because of the midfielders they have in that squad right now. The only midfielders I see in that position is Meno Ugarte, right? Casemiro is on his third leg. He's past his prime. He's going to be exited at the end of this season. They will give him a hero's send off, and he will go elsewhere and go and retire. You understand me? So he's not even in the plan. He had a somewhat season last season, and in that midfield, when this guy Ugarte has not been in form, Meno has not lived up to the hype. And to even consider that Meno was holding out or trying to put Manchester United in a standoff for a 350,000 pay bump for him to renew his contract. So I would say that Manchester United have just Ugarte in that setup, and Ugarte does not have what Baleba has. Baleba has positional, transitional football. He can transition the ball forward. He defend to attack immediately, split second, which can also be the deciding factor when you have just one opportunity to turn the game on his head, when you want to shift the momentum of the game. He has that ability. Bringing that into the Manchester United midfield is a stronger midfield between him, Ugarte and Meno.
Okay, now so if you look at it, I've watched him a little bit last season when Brighton plays. He picks the ball from that defensive line, and he can just move. I don't know how he does it. He moves past 2 or 3 players. Soon you see him in attack, making that pass to. Do you think that Manchester United need Baleba in that team? They are spending much on their striker because last season their scoring was one of their problems.
Yes,
but I think that they want to shore up that midfield to make a.
They also had a deficit in the goal line. Yes.
Now, Ugarte is a player I would call a Fred 2.0.
Oh, wow.
You get what I say? Fred 2.0. I can tackle the ball. I can recover the ball. But what I do with the ball after recovering the ball is what I don't know.
That's always the problem with Ugarte.
You get? That's the problem with Ugarte. So for you to play Ugarte, you have to play a Mbuemo who knows what to do with the ball. For you to play Ugarte, you have to play a Casemiro who knows what to do with the ball. You recover the ball, give it to Casemiro. Let me progress it. Recover the ball, give it to Bruno Fernandes. But with Baleba, you can, at some point, you can even be like, oh, I want to defend and I want to attack at the same time. You play Baleba, Mbuemo. You have that defensive shore that you can recover the ball and still progress the ball. Not recover the ball and give it to somebody else to go and progress the ball for you. Ugarte will recover the ball, and most times you see him doing a back pass. He's recovering the ball and he's giving the ball to Maguire or the fullbacks. You get that's a mode of I think Jorginho. I will not put Jorginho in that mode because Jorginho they hardly recover the ball. But Jorginho, when you give Jorginho a pass, instead of progressing the ball, he's always finding the fullbacks or the defenders just to make safe passes. You get those safe passes. is what thing Ugarte has. You get, but recovering the ball, he has it. Progressing the ball, he didn't do. That's why I said he is Fred 2.0. You get, and for Baleba last season, I think 4 goals, 2 assists in 37 games in all competition. You get, or 40 games in all competition, 37 4 goals, 2 assists. You get for Baleba, good number for a defensive midfielder. Ball recoveries was top of the chart. I won't say he's number 1, but he's top 5.
Bro, he's
ball
top
recovery.
notch, man.
When I say, I'm saying top notch. I'm saying on the rankings of Premier League defensive midfielders last season, he was
Name
top
one
5.
better DM, man.
Last season,
Name one better DM, man.
Thomas Partey.
Oh wow.
But I said ball recoveries. Thomas Partey, Wilfred Ndidi, the guys at Brentford.
Bro, don't even put in
Chill.
man.
You asked me, I said he is top 5, and you asked me name one better. I've given you 2 better.
He is top 3
that has done it and done it and done it. And you even still go for that. You have a Caicedo, Moses Caicedo.
Okay, Manchester United
So
needs a midfielder.
Like I said, Man United needs a midfielder.
Oh,
I've been the first person to campaign for Baleba to Manchester United here.
Yeah, I
so
remember you said something.
don't be like I'm going to, and I'm just telling you what Man United needs, why they need them. Not because of what they have. Man United have, if it's Man United having players, Man United have players that they can manage for the next 3 seasons.
Oh wow.
You get, Man United have players they can manage for the next season.
The manager does not have time to manage amateurs.
And I'll say it again. Toby Koila is one of these players that can defend and also progress the ball. You saw him last season. The few stints he has. Toby Koila, Mbuemo, now contract. You demand just 1 year where you just give Man United. They demand extra money. So in terms of football, footballing matters, Baleba supersedes everybody Man United has currently.
Okay.
Thank you.
Exactly.
You get,
why I like him.
But the thing is, would they be going for him this summer?
Why I like him is that he takes the ball and he runs through the midfield, and sometimes he loses the ball, but I think he takes risks. That's what Manchester United, because they are playing with majorly, if they are bringing sesko, they are going to play with two number 10 and 2 number 10 and a striker, which is sesko. Then they have to play a 2 midfielders, only 2 midfielders. That means the two midfielders they are playing have to be very good with ball carrying. So it's going to be interesting if they are going to do that. But the question I want to ask that, where Manchester United they see money to buy these players this
money there now. I would like, we were saying some time back when we had another podcast, we were saying that Manchester United had 100 million in the transfer kitty. They also had access to 124 million loan facility. We don't know where they are going to get the money from, but we know that the option is available. Secondly, let's not forget that all these transfers they've done so far,
they can be
none of them were full payments. I can bet you $1,000 right now, none of them were full payments. And those deals, there's still money in the transfer kitty to make it happen. 74 million for sesko and whatever it takes for Baleba, and you are done with your transfer market. So the funds are available. They have to find a way around it and make it happen.
Also, they are the second richest club in the whole world. They find a way to probably get this money out.
The thing is, when we said about the 100 million they have for transfer market and the loanable 120, I think 120 million in market and loanable 100 million is 240. Now they've not even touched the loan. That's one thing, they've not touched the loan. But now with cutting their cost on Marcus Rashford, you get, that's where the money is basically coming from. They can use this book and say, okay, fine, we got this player, this amount for this player to go off on loan. Now it's small money, but just to reduce the wage bill at the moment opens that door for Baleba to come in. It opens the door actually for sesko to come in. Now, if there's any foreseeable sale this summer, you've heard rumors of Sancho leaving to Inter Milan, Juventus has backed out of the deal, Sancho leaving to Inter Milan,
Garnacho will leave to Chelsea.
Garnacho is leaving to Chelsea.
Now
40 to 50 million pounds, Garnacho to Chelsea. Now, Anthony is still trying to find a common ground with Real Sociedad also. You get Real Betis, sorry. They're still finding a common ground with, they're still negotiating, but the price is still 30 million or so for him. If Real Betis is coming for Anthony, 30 to 35 million pounds for Anthony. So you see, Anthony deal can open doors for Baleba to Manchester United. You get, and the guy, I think they've agreed personally. He has agreed personal terms to Man United. But the thing is, Brighton is not holding out to sell this summer.
We are going to see if it's going to be possible.
Brighton is not selling this summer.
If Brighton will sell or not sell, but personal terms is not going to be an issue for Manchester United.
No, it's not.
I think it's part of the things that will help them. For example, when they brought in Sancho, they gave him about 250 to 300,000 pounds as salary. Now they bring in Mbuemo, they can pay Mbuemo maybe 100, 120,000 pounds. So it's a reduced wage. Rashford is almost 300, and imagine cunha is about that 120 to 150. If they're going to bring in Baleba, because Brighton will not be paying probably.
Brighton is paying about 40 to 50.
60,000 pounds a week.
And I pay you 100.
We pay 100. So I think part of the thing that will help them is when they reduce all these wage structures. Sell Anthony, sell Rashford, let go of Rashford, let's go of some of these players. Their wage bill will reduce. They're probably they can sign this player and not offer them. It's not about how much you buy a player, it's how much they are earning in salaries accumulatively. That's when and bonuses. That's where the problem is. But let's see. Baleba is on the news. Manchester United have made contact with him already. He wants to join Manchester United. He wants to go to Old Trafford. But the question is, if Brighton will sell, if they're going to sell almost Manchester United, we will cover almost more than 100 million euros for him to leave. But let's see if that will happen. Good news for Baleba. Good news for Manchester United. Truthfully, amorim is building.
Truth is, Baleba is I think Baleba is worth about 85 million pounds currently in the market. It's not as expensive as Moses Caicedo.
I know, but the thing about clubs, these people don't have clause. They don't have this. Most of them have clause. But if a club tells you that they are going to sell, problem is if it has a clause. You can know the clause. If a player doesn't have a clause, they can set it anything they want. They are going to put it between 80 to 100 million pounds because that's normally how they sell players. The only player they sold cheap was McAllister.
And it was on his final year.
And they sold him almost 40 million.
Because he don't old.
No, he's 24 years old.
He was on the final year of his contract. Simple.
No, he told I was 24, but the problem he has only 1 year.
Yes.
He's only almost 40. Imagine if you have 5 years at Brighton.
They will sell him 150 now.
But let's see what happens with Manchester United. They are going to go for Baleba after they conclude the sesko deal. Sesko is another player they are going to bring in. He has accepted to go to Old Trafford. He is going to play Old Trafford if they conclude that deal with his club, Leipzig. Let's see if it's going to work. But for Baleba is probably the kind of midfield that they need at Old Trafford. If he's going to play with only 2 midfielders, Baleba is elite ball carrier. But let's see if it's going to happen. But for Manchester United and amorim, next season is going to be important. He is cooking. But let's see if he's bringing Baleba, Sesko, Mbuemo, and
fire everywhere.
Now better soup in go they cook. But let's see if it's going to work out for him. Let's see. Hopefully it works out for him. But let's see if Manchester United will sign Baleba before the transfer market closes.